Hello friends, next we are going to continue the topic terms used in manipulating a transit vernier theodolite. The following terms you have to remember while using the theodolite, or when the terms are used in any situation or in the problem, you have to remember what kind of action it is, right? In that, first one is centering. From here onwards, the term centering is more important. Compared to the chain surveying, centering is important in compass, and from the compass, the plane table, since the shifting of points to the sheet to the ground to the sheet is important, so the centering is more important. There we will use the plumb bob in the plane table. Next comes to the leveling. We are not consider about the station position, we require the position of the points, right? There the centering important is not that much, but when we are using the theodolite, here we are going to measure the angle. So if the angle has to be measured, from which point we are measuring the angle, that is more important. So the point must be exact. So the centering means setting the theodolite exactly over an instrument station, so that the vertical axis lies immediately above the station mark, right? So it can be done by plumb bob suspended from a small hook attached to the vertical axis of the theodolite. So the center shifting arrangement, if provided with the instrument, helps in easy and rapid performance. It is available in all the transit vernier theodolite. Next is the transiting. The transiting is also known as plunging or reversing. What is reversing means, if you are having the telescope this way such that this portion is eyepiece and this is the objective is, I try to see an object in this way and it is in this position, I try to rotate the telescope exactly 180 degree such that now the eyepiece is here, the objective lens is here. So this shift is 180 degree. This movement is called transiting, right? So in the vertical plane, thus bringing it upside down and make it point exactly in opposite direction. This is called transiting. Next, the third term is swinging the telescope. It means the telescope about its vertical axis, it is rotated either in right way or in left, or we can say clockwise or counterclockwise or anti-clockwise, right? So this process of rotating is called swinging the telescope or swinging the instrument, right? You have to find the difference between swinging and transiting. But right and left, when we have to move right, when we have to move left, that also some criteria that we will see. Say face left. If the vertical circle of the instrument, already you can remember the instrument, in the last video I have shown about that A frame, everything. There will be a vertical circle. In that vertical circle, the telescope will be this way, it will be attached this way, right? So when the eyepiece, objective lens, the vertical circle this way, eyepiece is in your side and the vertical circle in your left hand side, the instrument is in face left, right? If the vertical circle of the instrument is on your left hand side of the observer while taking a reading, the position is called face left, and it is also called as the normal position of the theodolite. The observation taken on the horizontal vertical circle in this position is called the face left observation. While the instrument is in this way, the instrument has to rotate in right direction only, right? When the vertical circle in your left hand side and the eyepiece is your side, you have to rotate the telescope in this way only, not to the opposite of the vertical circle, right? Similarly, face right, when you have transited the telescope exactly 180 degree, then the eyepiece become that way and objective lens. Now for the eyepiece, the vertical circle will be in the right hand side, right? So from that, if you are try to observe the reading, that position is called, the process is called face right. The vertical circle of the instrument is on the right side of the observer. So when the vertical circle in right side and the eyepiece is this way and the telescope objective is that way, then you should not rotate in the right direction, you have to rotate in the left direction. So in face right you have to rotate in left, face left you have to rotate in the right. You have to remember this way. Changing the face, it is the operation of bringing the vertical circle to the right of the observer if originally it is to the left, and vice versa. That is rotating 180 degree, that is transiting. When you want to face left, what to be done? When you want to do face right, what the making the change of telescope position and the vertical circle is called the changing face. It is done in two steps. Firstly, revolve the telescope through 180 degree in the vertical plane and then rotate it to 180 degree in the horizontal plane. First transit the telescope and then swing it through 180 degree. This is the changing face. Next is line of collimation. This is the portion of eyepiece and this is the diaphragm where the crosshair will be marked. This is very much visible through the eyepiece, and the ray of light pass through its center and to the objective lens. That line is called the line of collimation. It is also known as the line of sight. It is an imaginary line joining the intersection of crosshair of the diaphragm to the optical center of the glass, object glass, and its continuation. Then what is the axis of theodolite? It is also known as imaginary line joining the optical center of the objective glass to the center of the eyepiece. It may cross the crosshair center, may not be, right? Since we may shift like that to measure the vertical angle this way, but the objective lens center and the eyepiece lens center, if you are exactly joined with the imaginary line, that axis is called the axis of theodolite. It may be equal with the previous line of collimation or line of sight, may not be also. Axis of level tube or bubble line. It is straight line tangential to the longitudinal curve of the level tube at the center of the tube. It is horizontal when the bubble is in the center. When the bubble is exactly center, the line will be exactly tangential and it is horizontal also, right? Vertical axis, it is the axis about which the telescope can be rotated in the horizontal plane. Horizontal axis, also known as Trunian axis, we have discussed about this. It is the axis about which the telescope can be rotated in the vertical plane. Next comes to the adjustment of theodolite. We will see in the next video.